I know today the ever-changing landscape of our economy, it's something that scares entrepreneurs, especially startups like myself.
Welcome to Midland Money Mindset, your weekly dose of inspiration and insights to ensure you enjoy each step of your journey. Whether you're saving for the future, planning your next big adventure, or simply looking to add more joy to your life, you've come to the right place. Now, let's dive in.
Athletes know the frustration. Cheap sports tape that peels, rips, and fails when it matters most. Logan Cuvo felt that same pain, and it ignited a bigger vision. Create the best damn tape. A product built for performance, resilience, and pride, made right here in the USA. As founder and CEO, Logan has transformed setbacks into a solution trusted by pros, including the Philadelphia Flyers, while inspiring athletes everywhere to protect their game and play with confidence. Today, we'll explore his journey of grit, innovation, and the love of hockey that drives it all. I'm Larry Sprung, your host for the Midland Money Mindset and founder and wealth advisor of Midland Financial. Let's dive into today's show. Well, I am so excited today to have Logan Cuvo with us he's the CEO and founder of Best Damn Tape. And as most of you know, I love talking about hockey, and this is tangential to it. So welcome to the show, Logan.
Thank you so much for having me, Larry. It's an honor, and I'm really excited to dive into it.
Yeah, pleasure to have you here. And, one of the things we like starting out with is the entrepreneurial journey. It's different for everybody. And we're going to talk a lot about and spend a lot of time on what you're doing today with Best Damn Tape. But perhaps you could give our listeners a little bit of background about who you are and kind of what your entrepreneurial journey was up until the point of founding and starting Best Damn Tape.
Yeah, it's an amazing question. I mean, Best Damn Tape was founded kind of from my frustrations as a hockey player. I noticed that, there were certain tapes that weren't holding up to, I wouldn't say my par because my standards were okay, but, they weren't performing the best in these critical situations that I saw. And I was a junior hockey player. For people who don't understand that, it's a league that you go and play before you go and play college. It's to develop more before then. And, I was really set on playing hockey, but then I didn't want to just be another name passed around on a sheet. I kind of wanted to make something for myself. And, the only way I could kind of do that was through entrepreneurial. I was so young at that point. I was 18 years old, didn't really have much experience other than hockey, and just threw myself into it at 18 years old. The idea came to me when I was driving home from that junior hockey team and really just wanted to do it. And it's been a journey of disruption. It just started from there, and reached out to my manufacturers, have an amazing relationship with all of them. And it's crazy to think that it all stemmed from just me sending a message. And here we are now. Well, Best Damn Tape is a sports/athletic tape company and hockey tape, of course. And we're committed and focused on providing the highest quality sports tapes to athletes around the world.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I mean, do you have any kind of entrepreneurial background? Were you selling lollipops out of your locker? I think I've used that one before, like in grade school, or selling, pencils for a quarter when people forgot them, or maybe you had some role models through family members, perhaps.
Yeah, I was always trying to do something extra. When I was a kid, I used to resell sneakers for basically my whole time from 12 to 16, and then after that, got really focused in on hockey, but then tried to start a few drop shipping things. And, it really all came from my dad. My dad's an entrepreneur as well. He has a small business in the hockey space as well. So it worked hand in hand for everything I wanted to do. And he's been an amazing, amazing mentor to me and really pushing me to, where we are now.
It was in your blood. It sounded like you had no way out of this thing.
That's the truth.
So listen, an interesting thing, those listening to the show, may see it up on their screen, or watching it, they'll definitely see it. But one thing I found interesting is the name of the company is Best Damn Tape, except damn is spelled D-A-M. So is it missing an N? Should it not have an N? What's the story behind that?
Couple things. I didn't want to get censored on any of the social media platforms or having a curse word in there. And, it kind of complicates things when you look at it long term. I definitely wasn't thinking about it then. I was just trying to be funny and really, kind of appeal to this younger generation of them being allowed to say the name and they're not actually saying a bad word. So, just a funny twist on that. And, when you see it, it kind of makes you remember it. Obviously, the name is Poppy, but then you look at the logo and you're like, wait a second, there's not an N there. So, it all kind of plays together as looking back on it. I guess it was a good decision not to get demonetized on different platforms as well.
Yeah. I thought you were going to have a totally different answer. I thought you were going to say something along the lines of, this tape is so good, it can plug a dam, no problem, a DAM dam. So I don't know. You went in a totally different direction than I was thinking, but makes a lot of sense. And, starting this at a young age and trying to appeal to that younger crowd, it definitely makes a lot of sense. So Logan, you're one of the few people that I've ever heard say, especially in today's day and age, that you love to sell. And you even talked about businesses that you started with shoes and drop shipping. Can you share why you love the sale and the power that brings when it comes to growing your brand?
An absolutely outstanding question. There's a few things to it, I believe. I was an athlete my whole life, as I said prior. And, I kind of get, when I secure that sale, I kind of get that same feeling that I did from scoring a goal. It's like that real big adrenaline rush that you want to keep chasing and just kind of want forever. I mean, scoring a goal, of any athlete listening or making a big play, it's awesome. And that's really kind of what I translated it to. And along with that, as I've, started to do this for now almost 3 years, I really do value the relationship so much with all of my customers, especially my B2B people in the NHL and the NCAA. They've been, obviously amazing customers and great partners to work with. People behind the scenes, the equipment managers who I work with are just, getting to know their story, getting to know them is really important to me. And it's been, super rewarding part of starting Best Damn Tape.
Yeah. And I guess if you're not selling it, you wouldn't have any of those opportunities of working with those people, right?
Absolutely. Got to keep always trying to push it.
Yeah. I had, and you may know this guy, I had Nick Bowen of Working in Hockey on the show.
Very good friend of mine.
Great. He was on episode 244, and he and I spoke about loving the game of hockey, and he wanted to build inside of it. For you, how has this venture helped regain your love of the game? Because although you may not be playing as proactively as you are, you're an active part of the game now each and every day.
That means a lot to me, honestly. It's amazing. I think I, of course, wanted to be involved with hockey when I was stepping away from it. It's been everything to me ever since I was 4 years old. Every person I've met, every education I've gotten was through hockey. So it's been a very consistent part of my life, and it will continue to be through Best Damn Tape. And it really feels like my childhood dreams of, trying to get drafted to the USHL and working with the USHL and trying to get drafted to the NHL and working with NHL teams. It's like, it kind of is coming true, and it's amazing to see and be a part of. And I have an amazing team who helps me out with all of that. So it's awesome. It really is something special to me.
So you feel like this has really kept you connected to the game that you really love?
Yeah, I was really burnt out after I got done with my junior career, as a lot of, athletes kind of tend to be when they're done with their career. And I was ready for the next phase, but I knew that next phase involved hockey. I wasn't sure to what extent, but now here we are. And it's really been still everything to me, dealing with, as you know, Larry, hockey people are all cut from the same cloth, and dealing with, the same people as me, and also people from outside there. It's really taught me so many things about myself and business in whole, because hockey is it's just like any other business, working with people that you like, and really have to have a good product that stands above the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. And, speaking of the love of the game, for you, what has it been like to supply the Philadelphia Flyers with tape? I mean, as a Ranger fan, I hope the tape, I kind of, in my heart of hearts, hope the tape didn't work as well for them. But for you, I know you do, but I'm just kidding. What it's been like for you to supply them and work with the Philadelphia Flyers?
I can't really put it into words. Like I said before, it's kind of just, those dreams kind of being fulfilled in a different way, in a different light. And we work with the Philadelphia Flyers, the Anaheim Ducks, and the Winnipeg Jets. And it's very surreal to me. It just as a little kid, seeing my tape or my wax or whatever it may be on their bench in their locker rooms and in videos and social media posts. It's a special type of feeling. And that's another reason why I think, that sale is all worth it to all entrepreneurs. Just go out there and get after it. You won't really know until you put it out there in the market and see what people think. So it's been a dream come true, to say the least.
What other sports are utilizing your tape at this point? Or, is it predominantly hockey and you're trying to delve into other sports, or are you already there?
Yeah, our beachhead market was in hockey just because I was so familiar with it. And we started to expand a little bit into lacrosse as well. A lot of those guys are using the same type of tape in that category. So it's we work with 3 different NIL athletes now in the lacrosse space, and we're about to work with a league in there too. So mostly hockey, but really this next year, we're doing a lot of different customer discovery to kind of see where this all leads us. We really want to be the Red Bull for sports tape companies. There hasn't been a sports tape company who's expanded across all of these sports and really created a brand that athletes can stand behind. And that's the overall goal of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I actually found it interesting you talking earlier about, the 3 teams that you're working with in the NHL, because I would have thought, as an outsider looking in, not knowing how that business works, I would have thought that the NHL had a league-wide contract and all the teams were utilizing the same tape manufacturer. But I guess that's each team has its own individual ability to make those decisions, I guess.
Yeah. As it gets down to the little lower levels, the ones that don't have as much money on the table as pro hockey does and pro sports in general, it gets a little more restrictive and they kind of cut deals to make it cheaper for certain leagues and certain areas of leagues. But what I say all the time is that they're professionals. And if they like something or they don't like something, it's probably going to be instantaneous of them getting it or it leaving their locker room. So it's obviously creating those relationships, like I mentioned before, but you honestly really have to have a product that, speaks for itself in there, because at the end of the day, it's those players making that decision.
Yeah. And one of the things I love about your company is your products are made in the United States, which I think is something today's day and age that many companies struggle with. It's something that many of them would love to do, but they don't. But this is something that you've been able to do successfully. What does it mean to you that you have your products, manufactured in the US? And maybe you could share with our listeners how you pull that off so that maybe other entrepreneurs that are listening might be able to learn from that and do the same.
Yeah. All of our SKUs are here. So it's amazing. And, the only thing that we have had a little bit of trouble with is our clear tape. And that's, trying to find different people to supply those certain things is challenging. And everything from our athletic tape, when we start to roll out athletic tape and medical tape and cloth tape and our wax, it's all made here. The grip tape, all made here in the United States. And, I really have a special relationship with my manufacturer. He's unbelievable. I can't say enough amazing things about him. He's been a great mentor to me. And I feel like he made it so much easier to make that decision to go with him here in the United States. And, obviously a couple other different factors of, logistics, all those things being able to scale. It all has to play a role in there. But there's a lot of issues being faced. I know today, the ever-changing landscape of our economy, it's something that scares entrepreneurs, especially startups like myself. And, trying to mitigate that risk as much as possible was really adamant on our mind. And I think also investing in the United States is also very big with what we're trying to do, and investing in North America in whole. I think it's just going to lead to further success down the road.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm an entrepreneur listening, are there things that I should be thinking about that, as I'm going through the process of deciding whether to make whatever product I'm looking to make in the US versus outside?
It might be more cost effective going outside of the United States. That's really the big thing. And why a lot of big companies are still outsourcing outside of the United States. It's a number that a lot of people here in the United States can't compete with. It's very, very cheap to get almost everything done if you were to do it in China or Taiwan or any of those regions of there, India as well. So it's on the table and it's definitely there. But then you have to look into it, I think, kind of further. You have to ask yourself the questions of, okay, if we plan to scale at the rate that we're thinking of, we can't just wait for a whole month just for the shipments to get here on top of how long it takes to make it. I think everyone has, you have a really big supply chain like a Nike, you can do that. You're able to be flexible. You can get that done by air. But when you're starting out and really trying to be scrappy with it, but still compete in the space, I think that there's a lot of factors that should play in of, trying to find someone near you or in your home country or closer than having to travel across an ocean. I think logistics are really, really the biggest thing that plays a factor into that.
Yeah, it sounds like you maintain a lot more control being here in the US as well.
Yeah, 100%. You're able to, basically turn around your supply chain and a matter of 5 days, 5 business days when you're here in the United States. So it's really, really efficient on that end. And I think when it's over there, you have to kind of plan it out a little more, which necessarily isn't bad, but you do have to plan it out more. You have to make sure you have a perfect reorder point. You know that you can hit these goals before, if you're a sports company ramping up before a certain season and a certain SKU, making sure you're ready for your customers that you have and the customers that you will be gaining.
Right. Imagine a relationship where financial conversations don't feel stressful, but actually bring you joy. We've designed a guide to help you have positive, meaningful money conversations with your partner. This isn't just another budgeting tool. It's a roadmap for building trust and connection. So if you're ready to start a joyful money journey with your partner, go to Mytland.us/couplesjoy and download your free guide. Transform your financial future together, starting today. Have you been able to leverage the fact that you make this in the USA in terms of marketing? Has that helped your brand at all?
It's been interesting. I think for different categories, it's going to be different as we start to expand into different sports. I think it's going to be really different. It's going to hit some different areas we want to be in extreme sports. So combat sports guys are really going to enjoy that. And certain hockey players, as you know, there's a little bit of a battle between Canada and the United States in hockey, and it's been like that forever. So it's definitely interesting and plays an interesting role just because this is the biggest, focus of hockey is North America. So we're trying to keep expanding into Canada, seeing how it works. We're going to start making our first big jumps here soon. Winnipeg was our first Canadian team, just a first-class organization. It was awesome. But, I wouldn't say necessarily with a few different things we've been able to. I always mention it for our wax, our wax is, I know I'm biased, but our wax is pretty awesome. We have 3 different scents: Fruity Pebbles, Butterscotch, and Peppermint. And those are for the little kids too. They love them. And we really do leverage that it's made in the United States, made by an awesome beekeeper down in Kansas.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. One of the things I would imagine, because we're talking about marketing, I'm a hockey player who social media has seen me. I've showcased it, put pictures up. I'm someone who wears the same shoulder pads that I wore in high school, if I wear shoulder pads. But if I do, I put those on just because they're comfortable, they're worn in. I know what I'm putting on my shoulders each and every time I lace up my skates. But I also know that hockey players are definitely superstitious in nature, like me, trying to do the same thing. So how are you getting those superstitious players to try something new? That player who's used the same tape for the last 5 years or even longer, or the same wax, and they're happy. How do you get them to make that transition?
Another amazing question. What can I say? That was, I think it's a big, big issue in sports. And sports companies trying to, make a change, make an impact in there. Across all sports, athletes, I'm sure any athlete listening to this, is they can pick out one thing that they did a little weird and a little off before they did every game. I'm the same way. I always put my left side on first, tied my left skate, strapped my left pad.
I'm the right side. I put my right skate on every time, right? Yeah.
So I think hockey players especially are very superstitious at nature. So it's, a little twist on marketing, and not the marketing that everyone thinks of putting it out into social media. I think it's a lot of guerrilla marketing and trying to get in those locker rooms and in those spaces that these guys are going to be able to use it in situations that not necessarily they're expecting. So we work with a lot of summer league teams where these pro guys come back and boom, our tape is in the locker room for them to use basically the whole summer, because they're not going to go buy any tape over the summer. They're just going to take it from there and use it. So I think it's also repeating pattern of just trying to, hey, this tape pops up here. Oh yeah, I saw that here. Okay, it's going to pop up here again. And it's just, always reminding and getting it out to every little place that we can is the biggest thing for it.
What have you found as, somebody in the younger generation, what have you found as your biggest source of marketing? What has been your best form of marketing, I should say? Yeah,
I'd say that Instagram is a really good platform to build a brand and also get a viral hit at the same time. I've been pretty adamant about this lately, but like TikTok, you're looking for that viral hit all the time. You don't really have time to, you can when you have big production and big budgets to build that brand and get the logos and the fonts and the taglines and all of that stuff all within a viral video is really hard. So I think when you're able to build your brand through the still photos, still images, collab graphics, I think those are really, really big benefits on Instagram while still trying to chase a viral hit through your videos. And as you said before the podcast started, Larry, collab posts are absolutely huge on Instagram, and they really drive so much attention and traction to all different platforms.
Do you find that you've seen growth organically, meaning users of the tape, the wax, they're organically putting content out there, kind of thanking you, showcasing the product, etc.?
Yeah, it's been really crazy. I mean, just people who I would have never even thought of as just, and players that I haven't talked to in many, many years now, from playing with them when I was 15 years old to them texting me now and saying, hey, we used your tape in so-and-so locker room, just checking in how you're doing. And it's just, back to what you said, it keeps me involved in the game and keeps me with all the people that I kind of grew up with at the same time, because a lot of the connections and a lot of people I work with are, I've known them for a very long time, and it's awesome. It's amazing. I can't say enough about the hockey industry and sports as a whole. I think sports is we're straight shooters. Most of us are in the sports industry, and trying to work together. And we're always open for collaboration.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Mentioned earlier, your dad's a fellow entrepreneur and he's actually in the hockey space as well. What has it meant, or what does it mean for you to have your dad, who is a fellow entrepreneur, being there, helping you through your journey, and having him side by side with you on this journey?
Yeah, it's something special. I mean, not a lot of kids can say that. Me and my dad have a very close relationship. And as I've started to get older, there isn't a time that I know it may sound bad, but we're always talking about business and how we can keep growing this thing. And that's what I say to people is you should always surround yourself with people who are, smarter and better and always chasing more things than you and always on go. I think that's a very big thing. And he has instilled all these values into me. I mean, being a hockey parent, I know that it's hard. I moved away from my house when I was 15 years old. So just to pursue the dreams of playing hockey, and coming back, he really kind of took me under his wing in that category. And, now he doesn't even bother me anymore. He just, he's like, all right, you got the decision. And it's really awesome to see him. We have such a cool dynamic with kind of everything we do. And it's just awesome. My mom also helps out as well with the business. She's been shipping orders for my dad and in the company that they have for forever now. And she's taken up the mantle of shipping out all of our products when I'm here at West Virginia University trying to get my college degree as well. So they're amazing.
Has he helped save you from making some mistakes that you can tell right off the bat, if I didn't have my dad in this situation, that this would have been an error I would have made if I didn't have him kind of guiding me?
Pretty much everything. I mean, I know he won't admit that now, but he really has done so many different things for me that he's just like, all right, you do this. And he doesn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But one in particular, when we were originally outsourcing from China, our first shipment coming over the border, HS codes were all messed up coming through, and it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. We got charged like 75% more than what we were expecting, what it was supposed to be. And me and my dad had to kind of take it full force. I tell the story that it's just me all the time, but he was really, helping me draft the letter. We had to write a letter to, DOD and the border control to get this passed through with the correct HS code. So it was crazy, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without my dad.
Yeah, I mean, having a coach is so helpful in ramping up the speed of success in our lives, and at different stages, we need different coaches, and to have that as your dad is amazing. Now, you talked about being a student at West Virginia, and I want to talk about that for a minute, because I feel like there are a lot of young adults out there who have great ideas, right? But a lot of times they feel like, hey, I'm in school, I'm a full-time student, or I'm doing this, or there's some expectation that they're supposed to be doing something and not maybe focusing on this great idea. How are you balancing running the company with still being at college?
I've had the pleasure of, guest lecturing at a bunch of different classes now in college, and, kind of talking to my peers and the people who are in the business school as well. And I've said it a few times, but there's not a lot of balance. It's a lot. Like, it's very Friday night, I am sitting on my computer, tracking my website and following up with people, making sure everything is good on my social media. Like the brain never really turns off and there's not really a balance between everything. It's just kind of, I don't want to just come off the wrong way, but it's just kind of what I do. And it's how I keep functioning to keep getting a little bit better every day, just to do something that's going to make myself, the company a little bit better. And I think for college kids, there's so many resources out there, especially in college. All of those professors are there to see you succeed. They want you to succeed and they want to be able to brag about you on their alumni list. Like that is their goal. They want to develop you into the next person who is a great founder or a great businessman or a great CEO, whatever you are. I think that, taking advantage of that and just doing the idea is the biggest thing. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. As everyone can see, like we do sports tape. It's not something that is groundbreaking AI or deep tech. It's, just a little business.
Logan, it's been a pleasure having you on. We ask each of our guests the same last question because we are all about joy. We are the Midland Money Mindset, and people are waiting with bated breath to hear everybody's answer at the end of the show because kind of ties all of our guests together. And that is, what did you do today that brought you joy and put you in the right mindset for success?
Yeah. Start my mornings out with a workout every morning. So I think putting me in the right mindset, and it always keeps me healthy. I feel like, you can get really focused in on everything else in your life and trying to succeed in the business world and all those other things. But I think health it's very big to me. I think doing that every day and kind of being consistent, I think consistency is a really big thing as well. Always brings me joy. It's just been an absolute pleasure, Larry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sounds like a great way to start the day. And listen, Logan, before I kind of give you a plug here at the end, I got a question for you. So, and there's no wrong answer, and you could go against the people that buy tape, is all right. So I'm a hockey guy, we're a hockey family. Who's your team?
Yeah, I grew up in Philadelphia, so working with the Flyers is a little crazy, but been in Columbus now for 10 years. I had the pleasure to, talk to their amazing front office staff, and I'm just biased to Columbus now. It's been a little tough, but I am biased to Columbus.
So who do you got for the Cup this year? We're recording this before the season even's getting underway, but we won't hold this to you, but maybe you got some nuggets for us.
I want to say every year that it's Leafs year. I'm a big Austin Matthews fan. You know what? I'm going to give it to the Leafs.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe not. It hasn't been their year for a very long time, but we'll see. I will tell you this, as a Ranger fan, I can assure you it's not going to be the Rangers this year. I just got a sense. But listen, Logan, it's been a pleasure having you on, and we're going to have all your information in the show notes. But if people want to learn more about Best Damn Tape, learn more about you, connect with you, what's the easiest and the best place for them to do that?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn at Logan Cuvo, Instagram Logan Cuvo, Instagram Best Damn Tape, LinkedIn Best Damn Tape, and our website is bestdamntape.com, and my best email is logan@bestdamntape.com.
Awesome. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking out time of your busy schedule between running the business, going to classes at West Virginia. Appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Larry. I really do appreciate it.
Logan, thank you for joining us and sharing your powerful journey from feeling the frustration of broken gear to building Best Damn Tape into a brand athletes and pros can trust. Your passion for innovation, love of hockey, and commitment to quality made in the USA is truly inspiring. We're grateful for the wisdom, energy, and joy you brought to the Midland Money Mindset today. Logan Cuvo and Best Damn Tape can be found across most social media platforms. All the contact information needed to find them can be found in the show notes.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Midland Money Mindset. Remember, it's not just about the money, it's finding joy in the journey and embracing the right mindset. If you love the show, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Don't forget to follow along for more tips and inspiration. Please visit the social links below to connect with Larry or his guests. Until next time, keep smiling, keep thriving, and remember to think about, what did you do today that brought you joy?
The opinions voiced in the Midland Money Mindset Show with Lawrence Sprung are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. No strategy ensures success or protects against loss. To determine what may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Investment advisory services offered through CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Guests on the Midland Money Mindset Show are not affiliated with CWM LLC.